Welcome to another edition of the eSpot with Camille. The eSpot is your location for the latest in entertainment, beauty, and design from the people who make it. Thanks for joining. Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you so much for joining the eSpot with Camille. I cannot wait for you to meet my guest again. Miss Rasheeda Gray is back in the building, well, virtual building. She's with me today we met her last year from the Kaleidoscope Project, but she also has her own interior design business. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, a little bit about what's coming up with the Kaleidoscope Project and all the things that she's been accomplishing since Dallas Design Week. Because this woman stays in the trade papers, okay? Like if you have any design, interior, architect, any of those information you need to know, this is the woman to listen to follow, to watch, all the things. Hello.
Hi,
Welcome back
Camille.
to the E Spot. I'm so glad to have you.
For having me again. I'm excited to be back.
Well, it is my pleasure. Of course, I'm excited to talk to you and find out everything you've been up to since we last spoke. Because even just for the people who weren't at Design Week and didn't get to hear all the wonderful information and tips you were giving down there in Dallas, but I'm sure you have more tips to even give now. What are the main things you would like to share about? Because they have to watch past episodes to find out how you got your start. We already did that. We're moving ahead since you're a repeat offender. No, I'm kidding. since you're since you're a sequel or a reboot as they call now. But since you've been here before, I'm curious what has been the biggest things that have changed since Design Week, or even starting with the Kaleidoscope Project until now, because it was like last summer, the last time we talked, and it's almost summer again. So a lot can happen.
A lot can happen. Gosh, what's been going on since then? I almost need to scroll back through my Instagram to figure out what's been happening because it's all moving so fast. So yes, we like you said, they'll have to go back to learn how I got my start. It's not typical start in
Corporate to design. Yeah.
yeah, it's a second career. But since then I have let's start with the latest thing. So High Point Market is our holy grail. It's where all designers go to see all the newest furniture, the latest trends. We get some professional development while there, networking. It's an amazing space in time. So High Point Market just passed last week. And so our team was there and we served as a design influencer on a design influencer tour. And so we got a chance to see kind of behind the scenes with exclusive showroom tours with some of the largest names in furniture. And we really got to see kind of what the 2022 trends are, what's next in our industry. And that was a lot of fun. High Point Market is always a ton of fun. Outside of that, I mean, we've been it's been really a big focus on projects and clients and building our design firm and working with our amazing clients. So we've done projects where we have totally furnished and renovated an entire home in the Poconos, which is a second home for a client of ours. We have been able to really just kind of work with clients from the start of the building process, which is so much fun. And so a new construction home, and a lot of clients are like, there's way too many selections, and this is a custom home project. So they're like, we need a designer by our side. So, we've been doing fun projects like High Point, but also just plugging away with our clients every single day, completing some fun and exciting design projects.
No, that's great that you do the hand holding, so to speak, with a new building and so on. Because there are so many options now, whether it's countertops, floors, wall coverings, and it's like you can get so many things customed when you're building, but also with having an interior design helping you with that, you can find out how to make sure it fits with your flow, your lifestyle, all the different things. So I'm going to go back a little bit and talk more about High Point since you mentioned that you got to see behind the scenes. How did that come about, and what were some of the trends that really stuck out to you?
So there are every year there's a handful of design firms selected to be a part of this exclusive tour. And, there's lighting companies and furniture companies and decor that all come together to provide this experience. So we were selected to be a part of it, which we were so excited about. And what we're seeing in 2022, I would say, okay, one of the biggest things that I noticed right away is the color green is the color of the year for this year, generally speaking. So Sherwin-Williams has their color Evergreen Fog, which is a light sagey green color that's beautiful. And there's a couple other greens. So generally speaking, that's the color of the year. And we're seeing that show up in furniture and decor throughout the industry.
Yeah, ignore the Perry Pantone color, right?
Right, exactly, right. That's why I said general, because that was very different than the greens that we've seen across the board. But, on my end, I always say, I think about like why the color of the year is selected. And I think with green, we're all feeling this sense of like renewal and like spring and new growth. And we're slowly, we think, coming out of the pandemic. Who knows?
Money.
Oh,
People with the good luck of bringing in more money.
too. So I thought that was refreshing to see something other than a neutral color kind of show up that way. Also at market, furniture shapes were really interesting. I really thought 2 years ago when I first saw this trend that it would come and go, but it's here to stay. So we're seeing lots of curved furniture. So we're seeing curved armchairs, we're in accent chairs, we're seeing curved sofas again and again and again. And so that's very interesting to see. I think it's just it's a softer approach to furniture because of the curved lines, which I really, really love. And then like with materials, speaking of soft, we're seeing like softer fabrics and textures. So like boucle is here to stay. I thought that was a trend. I saw it 2 or 3 years ago and I was like, I don't really like this, but now I love it. So
Describe a little bit about boucle. I'm not sure if I'm familiar.
It is that material that is everywhere now. A lot of West Elm CB2, but it's nubby. It's very cream. Mostly it's cream and it's a nubby. It looks like a teddy bear.
Okay. I saw when you were talking about waves, I don't remember which showroom I was in because it was kind of a whirlwind. I only went one day this year and it was like a wave almost of a sofa. And it was that same fabric that you're mentioning because I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Yeah. And I just thought, oh, that's not practical. And every time I saw it, it would be in a lighter color. And I'm like, oh, it's going to come and go. Well, now it's being made with like Krypton and other performance fabrics. And so it's really here to stay. And I think it just goes with that trend of like softer that we're seeing across the board. So
yeah, people are wanting to be more comfy at home, I'm assuming too. Even if they have transitioned to working back in the office, when they come home, they want it to feel like home now instead of work and home in one place.
Oh, that too, right? Yeah.
I know I was very guilty of my bedroom becoming my office because my bed was way more comfortable and I could lay out as opposed to always sitting with good posture and all the different things with a desk. So, but I did buy a yoga ball recently to try to just switch it up. So I can work on my core at the same time.
Because I'm sure many of us now have like back issues after 2 years of sitting in improper chairs and all of that. So I like the yoga ball idea. It's a good one.
Well, I must admit, I think I was watching some movie and the woman was pregnant and then I was like, oh, that's what I need to get again. Because when I was pregnant, I sat on a yoga ball almost my entire pregnancy. So that's where I was like, oh, that's what I'll do because that'll at least get me somewhat moving around a little bit more. And, I had the blood clot issue. So sitting for a long time, I get nervous about it. So I'm like, at least I feel like I'm moving around with it. I could do like crunches if I'm really feeling special. So again, with some of the things I remember from seeing from your Instagram was that you did something with Architectural Digest. You and a few other designers redid a show house as well.
I did. That felt like it was eons ago, but it was just a few months ago. So Architectural Digest what a dream to be able to work with such a huge staple in our industry. And I was honored to be selected to be a part of the Iconic Home. So Iconic Home was a virtual show house, and it is unlike anything you've seen before. You literally get the opportunity to walk through a designed home. And so I think there were 12 of us designers across the country. And this was in partnership with the Black Interior Designers Network. And so we were able to have a room in the home and got the unlimited creative ability to design it in any way we want. So I won't talk about my space right away. I'll talk about some of the oohs and ahs that I saw from other designers. So one of the designers, Ariane Belizaire, she had a live wall in her kitchen. And I was like, how cool is that? Because first of all, how sustainable is that? And then also, I'm sure it's healthy. There's plants and vegetation growing in your home. So I thought that was really cool and like a fresh approach. And then a designer, Bregan Jane, had a swing she designed a children's bedroom, and there was like a huge swing in the middle of the bedroom and a huge tree in the middle of the bedroom. So we got to just like be as creative as we wanted to. I had the honor of doing the entryway, the entry hall, and then the parlor. And so my approach to those spaces were, we are all inviting friends into our home again. Let's like have it set up for entertaining. So I got the opportunity to highlight a Black artist. And so there's Black art in the home, there's seating, there's a curved sofa, speaking of curved furniture. And so I really wanted to encourage the homeowners that we all kind of made up in our head, which I hope translates to ideas to anyone that's viewing the show house, to really entertain again and welcome their friends and family back into their homes post-pandemic.
Right. No, it's about that time of parties and events, or just even like you mentioned, graduations, all those things that you might have a home party for or entertaining for, or even just a Mother's Day tea, hint, hint, family. So for you moving forward, you're back on the Kaleidoscope project, but it's changed this year. So can you share a little bit about that as well? Because this is a great project you guys are working on. Every time it's something great, but now I get to find out from the beginning stages what your goals are, and then can reconnect with you to find out how well it turned out.
Right. So yeah, this time it's so much fun. So the Kaleidoscope project, as we've talked about before, is the overarching umbrella for a nonprofit organization that's focused on providing students of color with opportunities for an education in the arts. And so that's why it's so important to me, and I'm tied to it in this way. So as you recall, last year, 23 designers transformed a 2-century old bed and breakfast in Massachusetts. And that was beautiful, and it came together really well. And we're all still kind of rolling off of the excitement of that. So this year, the project is firehouse that is a century old, that was this close to being torn down, that we are now transforming into 4 condo units. So each designer gets an entire condo, 2 beds, 2 baths, 1 bath. I think it's 1 bath, 2 beds, 1 bath condo. The great part about this is the condo will be somewhat of, I won't say affordable housing, but although it's designed by designers from all over the country, it will still be a much affordable space for anyone who decides to rent or lease the space. But yeah, it is going to be filmed. I don't know how much I can talk about that.
I won't get you in trouble. I have the producers coming in a couple of weeks, so
all right, good.
All those details.
So it is our hope that this is kind of shared, the process of designing and the process of this transformation of this firehouse, which is so cool, is going to be shared on like a national platform. So we are in the process of designing right now.
Yeah.
And we're working with some amazing sponsors. I get a pleasure, the opportunity to work with Kravitz, which I love. I use Kravitz wallpaper, specifically their Lee Joffa wallpaper by Kelly Wersler in the Kaleidoscope project last year. And so I get to partner with Kravitz, which is a powerhouse again, and a lighting company called Circa to really transform this condo. So I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, so I remember last time you guys had like a color scheme you had to work with because you didn't want, since it was all one space basically, you didn't want for it to be like a hodgepodge. I remember Amy Lynn saying, but then you had other limitations, not limitations, but other like parameters
Parameters.
you had to work with then. So with this project, are there those same parameters? Because each condo can kind of be completely different in that sense as well. And I remember you guys and girls had to um, like each room was named after a woman for the most part, I believe, or had that as well. Do you have that same kind of inspiration since you don't know who's going to end up living there? What has been kind of your way of trying to attract, I guess, the right homeowner to the space you're creating?
Well, the good thing is it's kind of already got a buzz because of it's in Pittsville, Massachusetts, and everyone knows this firehouse in town. So once construction started, everyone kind of can see that there's going to be somewhat of a transformation. And who wouldn't want to live in an old firehouse? So I think they'll have no problem leasing the space really quickly. But yeah, this time around, there's really no parameters, which is a little scary,
Oh,
right? Someone's going to live there afterwards. And so we probably aren't going to put like a swing in a bedroom and things like that.
well, you don't have the lighting limitations either, but that ended up being a great thing because it was such a beautiful chandelier you ended up making. Check her Instagram or check the past episode. But you know, you had the limitations with electrical as well, so you won't have that either. So that's why I'm thinking, oh, no parameters. Who knows what Rasheeda will come up with next? You know, so or with all the designers for that matter.
Right. I
Yeah,
mean,
because you guys.
there's budget and all those things. But in terms of creativity and color and style, it's really each designer team is embodying their own personal aesthetic. So I'm really excited about that.
This is gonna be fun. Now, did they get rid of the fireman pole? Because I feel like everybody is kind of curious. How do you incorporate the pole? Is it is it 2 stories, three? I mean, how is it even stacked in that sense? Is that the way they have to go down the stairs? Just kidding. That's kind of hard with groceries, right?
They got rid of the pole. They're going to keep the garage doors that the trucks come out of,
Mm.
but they got rid of the pole. So I think it was a first floor and a basement before, but the first floor was really tall ceilings. So now they're segmenting first floor into first and second with a basement. So
Ah,
there will be 2 condos on the second floor, 2 condos on the first floor. Oh, and sorry, first floor condos will also have a basement, so there'll be 2 floor condos.
how fun.
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
this sounds like such a great project. I am so glad to reconnect with you and find out all the great things that you're up to. And I am sure your star will just keep on lighting and more exciting things to come. So you have to keep coming and sharing more. But for anyone that wants to work with you, although she is booked and busy, y'all, but there's always next year. No, I'm kidding. How can anyone
Well, you
stay in
gotta get in
contact?
now to
What?
be. You got to get in now for next year.
Like she's booked out and busy, even better. So, um, how can anyone stay in contact with you? What's the best way to follow you and keep up with everything that you're doing? I know we mentioned Instagram, but if you could just share other ways as well, that would
Yeah.
be great.
Sure. Well, first of all, Camille, it's always fun to hang out with you. So thank you. And thanks for all your kind words. I mean, it's been a blessing to be really busy and to grow the company during the pandemic. So we don't take that lightly. But if you want to connect with us, we're Gray Space Interior Design, the color gray, the word space, interior design on all platforms, Instagram, Facebook. And then our website is the same, Gray Space Interior Design. And phone number, email, all of that you'll find online. You go to our website, there's a contact, you'll get a response.
On that note. Make sure you follow Gray Space Interiors. It's everywhere you need to be. And as she mentioned, they work virtually. So don't let location limit you. If you're interested in working with Rasheeda and her team, she's willing to travel virtually as well as come and help with installations as well. So again, thank you so much for tuning in to Spot with Camille. I'm the host, Camille Cower. Make sure you check out my website, CamilleCower.com. And there's a special word of the day that will be flashing. So make sure you put that in the comments so you can have a chance to win. And don't forget to tag a friend so they can win as well. But the special word for the day will be was flashed earlier, and so just keep paying attention to that. And every episode, I will have a special word of the day or a word of the day. And I think this one will probably be grace. All right. Thanks again for tuning in to the Spot with Camille. I'm your host, Camille Cower, and you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching.